Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be checking out if a 2-year-old drone is worth it. Is it still worth your money? Let's find out. So what drone am I talking about? This monstrosity of a thing is what I'm talking about. This is the 3DR Solo, and this came out about 2 years ago, and I just bought it a little while ago, and today we're going to be talking about if it's worth it. So what is the 3DR Solo? So 3DR Solo is a drone created by 3DR about 2 years ago that was supposed to rival the Phantom 3 back in the time. And what this initially is a drone that uses a GoPro right here, and also an optional gimbal mount too if you wanted to actually try to get some decent photos and videos with this. But the main benefit of this is you're able to actually use the GoPro separate from the 3DR Solo drone, and that's what a lot of people liked and wanted on this drone. But especially what the 3DR drone is. So is it worth it today? It originally cost about $1,900, and a lot of people back then thought it was really pricey, which back then it was, because the Phantom 4 was only about $1,400. Let me put this back here. Well, it was only about $1,400, and this cost about $1,900 with everything, because you had to buy the GoPro separate, which was about $400 when it came out. Plus you needed the extra accessories like the gimbal if you actually wanted to get decent video from it. And you also needed the drone itself, which was another $900. So unless you already had a GoPro, it cost a lot of money. So now you could get the entire setup for $550 bucks. And that's what we're talking about today. Is that huge value still worth it today, or is it just something that isn't worth it? And did I actually waste all my money? So let's figure that out. So my experience with the drone. The main cool experience with it was actually, this is my first drone ever, so this is my first time ever buying or flying a drone. So this is kind of like a way, also like kind of like a beginner's guide, kind of just a way to show you if this is like a good starter off drone. So the setup was relatively easy. The major problems I had with it was the leveling setup, like actually getting it level. And then after that it was fairly easy. All I had to do was just twist the blades on and then get it all going. But the problem with the leveling though is like I had no idea how to figure that out and how to like get that connected to the controller and level it and mess it all up. But other than that, it was fairly decent. The major problem I had with it was the app itself on the phone, is the fact that I didn't know that in the settings you actually had to go into leveling and then set it up through the app. I just thought you would be able to level it through the controller and that, and then the only thing with the app is just being able to see live video feed. But that was the major problem I had with it. So the major thing I love about this drone, it is very easy to fly. It does not take a lot of time to get used to the controls or the controller, and that's the major thing I like about this drone. This is the controller that comes with it. I'll probably have another B-roll for this just to actually see what it looks like. But the controller itself is really easy to navigate and find. There's different switches for like the gimbal control and gimbal setup and how fast the gimbal goes when it pans and all that cool stuff, and that's what I really like about this, and that's one of the major reasons why I bought this, because a lot of people said it's a very beginner-ish type drone to buy. The whole drone itself, the thing is really big, and that's my major gripes about it. I was hoping to have it be a little bit more portable. That's why at some point I'm going to be buying the backpack soon. But the major gripe I have with it is just how big it is. And for the price that it was back then, I'm not sure if it was actually worth it at all. Probably if it was back then, I would have bought the DJI Phantom 4 or 3 was the main thing I was competing with, because the gimbal itself is okay. Gets pretty nice stable footage, but it's only 2-axis, as it only goes here and here. It doesn't have a 3rd axis. It does actually have 3-axis, but this doesn't turn all the way around, so it's not the best quality drone or gimbal ever. So that's another thing I really didn't like about it. So the durability is actually really great. This thing's built out of plastic for the most part, so the plastic is actually really great and something I really like. It's very durable. I've crashed it a few times and nothing's happened other than the blade. It does come with 2 extra blades anyway, so it's actually really good for flying. Like if you wanted to actually be able to use it and beat it up, you will be able to have a couple extra that actually comes with it in the beginning. But the blade that I had, I crashed it once, as you can see, but major problem I have is the blades. Looks like it's gonna be, the blades aren't as durable as I would wanted, so the drone well, you have to get a lot of replacement blades for it as well, but they're not that expensive. They're like 15 bucks, but then you have to wait, actually be able to fly the drone in the first place. You can always buy more too online off of B&H, where I actually got the drone. So that's actually a really good strong point of this drone, is it's very durable. That's a major reason why I also bought the drone, because a lot of people says it's durable as well. Now, the usability. This is a very interesting topic, because at this point right now, 3DR does not support any app for the drone. They actually disbanded a little while ago, so 3DR really doesn't update the app that much, and it doesn't, not a lot of people actually work the app. There's not a lot of developers for the app or the drone itself. So right now I've only used the first party app that uses the actual drone itself. I haven't used any third party app, though I did buy Solex, which is the most recommended app for the 3DR drone, and I'm going to make a separate video about that, so you guys should go check that out once it's out. With using the drone, the Fly drone app itself, if I can speak, is actually a really easy thing you do. You just turn the controller on. It prompts you to go onto your phone and connect your phone to the Wi-Fi that the controller is emitting itself. Turn on the drone itself, and then after that you just have the GPS connect to the drone, or the drone connect to the GPS signal, and then after that it's pretty smooth sailing from there. You just press or hold fly and it goes up, turns the motor on, you hold it again, and then it actually goes up to a good distance, and from there you can just fly around using the controllers, and that itself is good. But the major gripes I have with the controller is whenever I hold down fly to land it sometimes, like just so I can land it, a couple of times it crashed because I was trying to land it. The motors never turned off, and then the thing kind of flipped over on one side because it wasn't balanced because it was so close to the ground. So that's something that I kind of got into troubles with. A few other times also was not being able to use any of the actual things that it was created for, like the smart capabilities, being able to follow yourself. Following yourself didn't work well at all. It kept losing connection and regaining connection, so it kept stopping and going again, so it couldn't get very usable footage itself. So that's another really good bad gripe I have with it. But the usability is pretty well. I was able to use the orbit, the selfie shot, and a couple other major things. The reason why I bought this drone was for those extra features, so I can actually don't have to fly it manually itself. It goes on by itself, and I can get really cool shots with it. And that leads it into the camera quality and practicality in terms of filming. Is it worth it if you're if you want to make films with it and use actual drone footage? I say if you want to use it just for films yourself, it's not worth it. Really, it isn't, because you have to actually use a GoPro for it, and GoPros aren't known for having great quality cameras. They're great for action shots, and they have decent quality footage, but not great. Like, not my Sony camera that I'm using to record this. The gimbal and everything else makes it stable, but then the GoPro, unless you have it at 4K, you need to have it 2.7 or 4K in order to really get usable footage. Because when I was using it, the drone itself would actually get in the shot, like the legs or the blades, as you can see there, but it's not as great as I would like it to be. And it's usable footage if you want to make YouTube videos, but for actually making cool films with it, I wouldn't. It's kind of iffy there. It's not something I would definitely use every day for drones. The camera usability on the drone, it's usable for sure, as you've seen in my previous video. You can get decent footage out of it. It's just not like amazing footage. It's not something like even a Maverick Pro or DJI can really like look. It's nice, but it's not great. Now, the major reason why I bought it, it's cheap. Like, it's pretty cheap. It's only about $550, plus I got the extra $30 for the blade protector, so it helps protect it. Batteries also don't last a while. They only last about 15 minutes with the gimbal, 20 minutes without the gimbal. So you're gonna need to pay for more batteries as well, and those aren't cheap. Right now they're on sale for 50 bucks on B&H, but they're usually $150 if you want to get them retail priced MSRP. They're not cheap, the batteries, plus you have to pay for extra blades and stuff later on. But the main drone itself, with everything included, 550 bucks, is pretty cheap for a drone in itself. The DJI Spark that's coming out soon is $500 as well. The camera quality isn't good, it can't shoot 4K. And the DJI Mavic Pro is an extra $500 on top of that. But you get the portability and the better camera, to be honest, for my personal opinion. It's definitely worth it if you don't have $1,000 to spend on the Mavic Pro. $550, it's really worth it. It's a great drone to have for fun. Like, my friend was just like really loving the drone. And it's really cool if you just want to fly a drone and have it more for the novelty factor than the filming factor. It's really great and fun for that. But I wouldn't say it's fun or usable for filming. If you want to film every single day and make really cool shots, I would recommend getting something a little bit more expensive and just saving up your money. But it is a great drone, don't get me wrong about that. The reason why I bought it, I don't get to just buy a drone, review it, and send it back. They don't send me stuff like that. So I bought the drone as a customer itself, so this is my personal opinion on the drone itself. So as the drone itself, it's really great. I'm going to keep using it for shots for my vlogs, for anything else I decide to do. But it's not a very usable drone for filming. It's okay, but it's not great. That's just my personal opinions on the drone. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, because this video did take me a while to set up, record, edit, and all that. So if you guys did enjoy the video, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.